episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I'm your host, Edward Anderson. I'll title this later, but I wanted to get this out here. I just want to talk about, I'm going to start referring to this woman from now on as Megan a liar, because I've never thought Megan Thee Stallion was a stallion. If you measure Megan up against all-time most attractive black women, she absolutely does not measure up. When you measure her against even black women that had a decade or had a 5-year run, she absolutely doesn't measure up. Megan Thee Stallion is a creation. Megan Thee Stallion damn near is a plant. And Megan, the reason why Megan Thee Stallion is where she is number one, because she's carried like a motherfucker. I'm not gonna say she absolutely has no talent, but the reality is she is not as talented as people like to act like she is. She does not have the kind of motion that people act like she does. I mean, for example, you need to go no further than the fact that Cardi B will be in Raleigh Cardi B will be in Raleigh in April, right around the new Dreamville. We'll see how that turns out. And yet you ain't seen Megan Thee Stallion on no tour unless she's a guest on somebody else's tour. And I don't care what Megan Stan say, it ain't enough Megan Stans to actually buy a ticket from Megan Thee Stallion. Let's keep that all the way real. Let's keep that all the way real. Megan Thee Stallion, I may have to go look that up again, but I don't think Megan Thee Stallion has had a real tour. And I mean a tour where she anchors it. I'm not talking about a tour where it's a collab tour or it's a tour with other people. I'm talking about a tour where she anchors it like NBA Youngboy has had, like Chris Brown has had, like Playboy Cardi has had. That's what I'm talking about. And to me, people like to talk about album sales and streams and all of that. To me, that's the best indicator of who you are, because that's how a lot of these artists get the most money out of their music. And shout out to Jada Black for doing the video on this. Shout out to everybody else for putting a video out on this. But I'm talking about Tory Lanez, not Tory Lanez, but Blueface making this assertion on DJ Vlad. So, fuck DJ Vlad, but DJ Vlad. And by the way, DJ Vlad brought this up with Blueface. Of course, they could have talked about it before, but, that's generally not how DJ Vlad rolls. He likes to ambush people, which is why he can catch people. He can catch people off guard, and they start snitching on themselves because he catches them off guard. When he's got his shtick is pretty well documented. So typically, if he brings something up, Blueface just don't care. And it ain't gonna make him look bad. So basically, DJ Vlad brought up the fact that Blueface made an assertion a few years ago that Megan Thee Stallion sucked his dick. We're just gonna say it just like I'm gonna say it, 'cause I don't care. And pretty much hung out with him out, going fishing in Florida, different shit out after she supposedly got shot. So should have been where her foot was fucked up. She should definitely not been able to get in the water and do all this bullshit. Now, obviously, this is Blueface word, but Megan has not denied it. We know black women have no problem. Megan has no reason to give a fuck about Blueface. So Blueface ain't even as hot as he used to be. So you would think she would put a lawsuit on him. You would think she would put a lawsuit on Vlad. She want to sue everybody else, even sue other females. You would think she would do that. That intimidation shit. And I'm telling you right now, I'm never going to get off the fuck Megan Thee Stallion train. Straight up. Because here's my thing, and I'm going to say it like this. If Tory Lanez, like if this shit would have happened in the 90s, Tory Lanez would not have went to jail like that. Not no 10 years. If Tory Lanez, Mac should have been in there 4 years, and really not even that long. If he was in there a couple of years, maybe up to 4, I think people could let that shit go with Megan and just move on. But the fact you stole a decade from a black man. I don't care if he's from Canada. You stole a decade from that man over some shit that you low-key caused. Man, I can't even say on this internet what I hope happens to you. And I hope you do it to yourself. Straight up. I'm dead ass. And you got motherfuckers, and it's always funny because, when you look at Megan Thee Stallion is not even a girl's girl. But, one thing about black people is when black people make excuses for people that they like, You know, they don't even leave open the possibility for certain shit. They just, oh, I like this person, therefore I don't respect people like that. I really don't. Like, I don't respect people like that at all. I see people like that as less intelligent. I really do. I don't care if you're a fan. I can acknowledge this, and this, even though this is where I'm going to choose to land on it. But for anybody to look at that case, and then try to say it's just known that he did it. Had that been a white man, it would have never went to trial. Had that been a Hispanic man, it would have never went to jail. Had that been another black woman, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Megan and Jay-Z could only pull that move because it was a black dude. And quite frankly, because Tory Lanez chose, Jay-Z, this is one thing I don't respect about Jay-Z on this. Jay-Z used street codes to basically hang that nigga. Jay-Z basically used street codes to put a noose around Tory Lanez and hang that motherfucker. That is essentially what he did. He literally used, which is for somebody that's from the street, that should be some, like, that shit should be worse than ratting. For you to manipulate him in that way and use his own value and principle system in order to, that's what I'm saying. I really want Jay-Z to lose a lot of money on her, because shit like that, what he did is up there with Michael Jordan having investments in private prisons. And once people found out, he divested from that shit. But he wouldn't have divested had people not found that out. All money ain't good money. And this thing where like hip-hop, a big reason why hip-hop is in the state that it's in today is because, one, it's not the only reason, but it is a big reason, is because they spend so much time pushing bitches like this. Like, how many of these chicks have actually been able to go on a real tour? How many? And don't tell me it's because they're young. NBA Youngboy just sold out. NBA Youngboy was in jail, just sold out 45 shows. In areas that are like, he went to South Carolina, sold that shit out. Raleigh sold that shit out. Big cities, like huge cities like Houston, sold that shit out. 25 years old. Been in and out of jail, come out of YouTube. You know, dude sold $75 million. This is his first real tour. Do not fucking tell me it's just that people are not interested. No, these people are not as hot. An NBA Youngboy don't even get played like that where I'm at. That's why a lot of people my age don't know who the fuck he is. Like, really, really. Because his songs don't even get played like that. But you know what I hear all the time if I listen to the radio? Red, Lotto. I like Mariah the Scientist. You know, I mean, you know, the more I look at her face, like, eh. But at least musically, I got respect for the type of music she puts out. You know, I do think black women, but I think the problem is she's not ratchet enough, so black women don't really get behind her. She's too normal, which is unfortunate that black women don't really rally behind her, because she does put out solid, you know, black female music. I actually like her more than I like SZA. Well, I don't like SZA, to be honest. I actually like her. SZA has this Brandy / I don't like black men because I'm weird and I'm antisocial and I want to blame black men music. Summer Walker has basically Section 8 baby mama, single mother, gutter bitch rap music. You know, Mariah the Scientist actually has solid music. But yet, she's the least popular of those three that I just mentioned. We have a culture problem. We have a culture problem. We really do. Black men tolerate shit they shouldn't be tolerating, and black women are basically just on a free fall. They don't want to be black, so they're pretty much in a self-harm. I want to destroy myself because maybe I'll be reborn as a white woman type shit. Is it every black woman? No, but it is most black women. It's just to varying degrees, which is why you don't see a lot of black women call that shit out to the level that they should. Yes, her name is Mariah. She actually comes from, like, she actually has a really strong pedigree. Like, her dad is like a big time coach, like football coach or something. She has a really strong pedigree as far as her family background. I can't go into it, but yes, her name is Mariah the Scientist. Which you laughing, but hey, that is her name. She's the chick that did Burning Blue. That song. She got snuffed from the Grammys, which is fucked up. Because that was a popular song. That song was played a lot. You know, Kalani just wears trauma. Kalani stuff is pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie. Kalani just wears trauma on her. She's trauma ridden, and you can see it. But anyway, I know. I gotta check out that Professor Black Truth video on the chick that you know, offed herself. Unfortunately, because of the, you know, the harassment. But it's kind of like, I mean, my thing is, so I'll make comment on that because I'm about to start pumping. I'm really about to start pumping out, you know, uploads. But going back to the Megan Thee Stallion shit, you know, I'm telling you right now, like, I don't care what nobody say. That bitch is lying. I don't care. I'm telling you straight up, like, black men get falsely convicted all the time. I don't care. That bitch is lying. That is not what happened. And I will always go back to, if it was so clear cut, when people be acting like it's just clear cut that Tory Lanez did what he did, I'm like, so why give Kelsey immunity? Why give Kelsey immunity? Why do you need immunity? If Megan, understand that if Megan and if Megan and Kelsey were fighting, you wouldn't need to give her immunity for that. That's a misdemeanor at best. You wouldn't need to give her immunity for that. They wouldn't need to give her immunity for that. They wouldn't. So why give her immunity? See, that's the thing. I probably wouldn't be, I would still be tripping, but I wouldn't be tripping as hard on that. Everybody just skips that. Fuck what I'm talking about, what we know in the court. I'm not even talking about what somebody said happened, but it wasn't entered in the evidence, which is bullshit. I'm talking about what we know. We know Kelsey was given immunity. We also know Kelsey has kept her fucking mouth shut. You ain't never heard, outside of maybe like maybe 6 months after, you have never heard her say anything online. She has kept her mouth shut. No, Clay can't turn. Well, what do you like? That's like saying, okay, I want to repeat to you what you just said. You said, Ed, you think Clay can turn a woman good, Megan good? That's like you asking me somebody that had herpes, can you make them a clean bitch? That's how I interpret that question. The only difference is we're talking about mental issues. You like, can you turn her into not an alcoholic? I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. Even if men have, I know it's just a question, but I just want to say, even if men believe that just they have the thought that you can dick a bitch down into being a good woman, that is a very matriarchal idea. Because the truth is, I don't care if you give the woman the best sex she ever had. She is always going to be who she is going to be. We are a sum of our actions. We are a sum of our actions. And there are certain things that if you do them, you cannot do them. And that's not, I'm not even saying that's not a big deal. If you are a virgin, once you have sex, you are not a virgin. There's nothing you can do to reset. It doesn't matter. One is the other. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing there. So when we say, and that's how dudes get into situations with mofos they shouldn't have had to. I know what the play is. People keep telling me offline what people I know that I know what the play is. I don't give a fuck about what the play is. I don't care. Like, I know that they're trying to switch her to be an influencer in order to get into retail to make a lot of money. It's the same bullshit they did with Sierra. But Sierra ain't fucked niggas over like Megan did. Sierra got Megan got multiple niggas saying how bad she is. So if Clay wants to roll that dice, let him roll that dice. Also, it's funny how you get a light-skinned nigga to run that play. You notice how it's always a certain profile of dudes that they get to run these plays? Because if you try to be like Cardi B and get with a Stephon Diggs, you know what you gonna get, which is what she got. Basically, Offset Part 2, except you not married. But you looking stupid because at the end of the day, you got some random nigga into you, and really, to him, you some random bitch. She getting back. Stephon Diggs is dealing with India Love again. And I know people trying to clown DDG, oh, you spent that money on her and she played you. DDG spent that money for the experience. He got the experience. It is what it is. India Love is remember, India Love is older than DDG. DDG is like 26, 27. India Love is 30. So by the time DDG is 29, India Love is going to be 33, 34. So trust and believe that, and quite frankly, India Love is starting, and I don't have an issue with India Love, but the thing is, India Love is starting to, a lot of women, she's starting to get that cooking with Kaya hate from a lot of women. Women are watching her, and the difference between Kaya and India Love has this racially ambiguous look that gives women even more cause to not like her. And so there's a lot of jealousy and stuff. So India Love is gonna have this string where a lot of bitches are not gonna be fucking with, are not gonna like her, and that's gonna fuck people's calculations up whether they should deal with her or not. But anyway, going back to the Megan thing, like at the end of the day, it'd be for to steal a whole decade of his life from him. And understand, the thing is, if he gets out of jail, when he gets out, because here's the thing, the reason why I want to do a video on the Blueface thing is because I've been telling y'all my theory that a lot of these rappers, they know what happened. They got an idea because they were around her. They were around her after this enough to where people talk, that's a small circle. And Megan has gotten around because, you know, she's a groupie at heart. Megan is not Nicki. Megan is a groupie at heart. Megan is not, look, do I think Megan can rap better than Cardi? Yes. I'm not even gonna like act like that's not true. Cardi can't rap. She gets a ghostwriter. She might as well be a singer getting a script and you run it through a Cardi B like my AI model. That's what she is. And women don't care because skill doesn't matter for women. It matters how you feel. They could sound like a whole retard, but if they feel good about what they hear, then that's all that matters. That's why most female rap music is trash. Because there's no logic, because there's no actual skill base behind it. Women don't care about skill. They just care about how they feel about what they're hearing. You can play some Goo Goo Gaga music, and if it Goo Goo Gaga, and if it makes them feel good, they gonna think that's, I mean, seriously, I hate to say it, but that's what it is. That's what it is. And they know that's true, which is why a lot of these chicks don't be going. That's why these chicks can't tour like that. Because these women are not willing to buy these tickets. These women are not even willing to press their boyfriends for these tickets. Now ask them if they press their boyfriends for an NBA YoungBoy ticket. Ask them if they press their boyfriends for a Playboy Cardi ticket. Ask them if they press their boyfriends for a G Herbo ticket. Chris Brown. But today, but they'll press them for a Cardi B ticket. But Megan, Glorilla might be able to go on tour. That book hasn't been written yet, so I'll be fair with that. Sweetie couldn't go on tour. Doja Cat can go on tour. I can't stand Doja Cat, but I'm not. We're not lying. It's like I'm not even saying all women can't, but a lot of these chicks, they can't. So what they do is they do music festivals and all that other bullshit to try to get around that. Hey, look, popular artists do music festivals as well. So that, but they don't lean on that. Sabrina Carpenter and do all that as well. But guess what? They tour too on their own. Yeah. That's where a lot of them women trying to talk and see, and a lot of these bitches get mad. So their new thing when they just, Again, I keep telling you, sexual leverage, like that new thing that women are starting to say, oh, a nigga, he gay, he trying to run away from his homosexuality by fucking a whole bunch of women. Yeah, because that's traditionally how they operate. And it's funny because these are the same women that are all up under these gay dudes, which to me, all that's saying is y'all are willing to fuck a nigga that you think is gay if you like how he looks. That's all that's telling me. You're not beating no that allegations. That's all that tells me, that if a dude is gay, that's not really a barrier of entry if you like how he looks. That's all that means when you say that. That's all that means when you say that. And you're upset with sexual leverage. When you don't have sexual leverage, you get angry. And so that manifests in you basically saying a dude is gay, or he's right, like y'all start coming up with this stuff in your head because you're upset because you can't handle the fact you ain't got leverage. You like Aquafina water. You just another bitch off the shelf, and you can't stand that. And it really makes it look stupid because it's like if y'all want to say he gay, gay babies, it's fun. Again, this is the bot thought process. If you think a dude is gay, if you still dealing with him, then that means you don't care, which is a commentary on you. But they love saying that, oh, dudes, they always fucking women, they gay, they can't settle down. No, bitch, you're mad because now you're getting older. Because it's always women, it's like in their late 20s, early 30s that are saying that. No, you're getting older, and now you're realizing you basically tricked off your youth. That's what we're gonna start calling it. You all tricked off your youth. And you're not, and you can say what you want about a trick can get more money. Doesn't mean he will, but he can. You can't trick, you can't get more time. You can't get more time. Once you turn 30, we just talked about things you can't turn back. Look, I'm 39 years old. Tomorrow I got 11 months, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna make that a thing, but I'm just saying, you can't get the time back. That is crystallized. You can't bitch your way out of that. You can't cry your way out of that. What's up, Great Dane? You can't cry your way out of that. You can't gaslight, manipulate your way out of that. Yeah, man, you should be dealing with younger women. Or you niggas think you niggas actually preserve your looks. Black men don't hit, like men, yes, nobody's saying that men don't have to work to maintain their looks. Nobody's saying that. Nobody has ever said, nobody said it, but the reality is the men age a little bit differently than women do. That is the truth. You all have a peak for a reason, because the objective is for you to have children. Y'all don't like that, but that's true. And at the end of the day, you all act like at the end of the day, it's like saying, would I rather buy a brand new car and pay this price, or would I rather buy a used car and pay more than I would buy the brand new car? Nobody, including women, would ever do that. And you see that that's true because you see all these females now. What are they doing? They trying to get with younger dudes. So they're getting with younger dudes while acting like, like it's crazy. So I don't take none of that seriously to the extent that they're going to try to change the culture. But as far as but my point is, even with Megan is 30. Megan is like a 1 year left millennial. And you see what she's doing. She's pretending. And I mean, that's on Clay. I'm not about to, even though I can't stand, man, I'm not about to, if Clay want to be a goofy, I mean, let him be a goofy. That's on him. That's on him. I mean, dudes have a right to make their own decisions. It's not an easy feat. And women act like it is, because the niggas, let's be real, the niggas that they like are doing it. That's what it is. So in their mind, everybody's doing it. And truth be told, ain't really didn't having no long-term relationships with no 20, 25-year-old, because a lot of these bitches are young-minded as hell. But there's a difference between having an ongoing relationship with a bitch and fucking a bitch. Those are two different things. Exactly. And so a lot of these dudes, they just getting their numbers up. You right, Great Dan. That's so these women don't. And what these women aren't telling you is these women are not getting out of these young dudes what they try to say they want. So we know if a woman is fucking a younger dude, we automatically know he not paying. He ain't buying shit for you. We know he ain't buying shit for you. We know he ain't providing shit for you, except for dick. We know that. We know that. So all this shit about what you want and what you deserve, you've already demonstrated that that's cap. And especially if you have a history of dealing with young, we know that's cap. We know that's cap. We know that's cap. And so you think you're going to get men to come off their resources so you can be secure? No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And then a lot of these chicks are, so anyway, going back to Megan though, the problem that I have, again, you know, I have been saying that the hip hop community, them dudes, they know what went down. They just don't want to get sued. They don't want to deal with Jay-Z. They don't want that pressure. And what's happened is, because like you have not seen a dude really feature with her. When's the last time Megan is featured with a dude? She's featuring with Cardi B because they got a relationship. And that was it. And in the last couple of things she did flop. Even that Lover Girl song, you ain't heard that. You know why? The women said that shit was garbage. Women that are Megan Thee Stallion fans said that shit was garbage. They wanted to like it so bad. And they said, I wanted to like this so bad. So even Megan Thee Stallion fans are saying, they said that to be fair, so I'm not putting words in their mouth, what they didn't like about the song was the direction she took. They're like, they pretty much said, I'm on board with the rebrand, but where's the fucking rebrand? They said, I'm on board with the rebrand, but why are you talking about popping your pussy when you're supposed to be in a relationship? We have the Megan Thee Stallion pop your pussy music. We like that music. I'm talking about her fans. We like that music, but we want some different shit. I don't want a new pop your pussy song. We know you like to fuck. We know all of that. I want something different. And they thought that song, because it's like I forget the song, but it's a sample. It's a sample of another song, of like a, you know, old like 90s R&B song, or good song. I forget the song, like Kiss Something. It's a really good song. And she basically shitted on it with her hoe music. She overlaid whole lyrics rather than to like, and basically what I'm getting is the bullshit that she's doing, the bullshit she's doing on social media, cooking for Clay, being in a relationship, that's not parallel to her lyrics. And so they're like, okay, where's the evolution? They're on board. I'm talking about the stands that don't go to no damn tours, but they're on board. But they're like, where's the music? They're like, no, you basically use the beat, a good song, and basically put, I want to do this, I want to do that on it. No. And even her own fans, which is why it's not being played. And again, the difference between Ciara and Megan Thee Stallion is Ciara has done those types of songs though. So Ciara has shown range. Ciara has shown range, and honestly, Ciara's brand is different than Megan's. Ciara does not have as much shit on her. What Ciara had, really, the worst thing about Ciara is that she dated Future. That's what fucked Ciara up. What fucked Ciara up is not even that she dated Future, that she had a kid with Future. Nobody really would care if Ciara didn't have the baby. That's Ciara's only problem. You had the baby and you want to wake up after you have the baby when you come out of a 2-parent household, and then you want to get a 2-time Super Bowl quarterback. See, it ain't like what Megan Good did. When Megan Good basically got Jonathan Majors on a discount, and she's taking a real risk with dealing with him because he may not pop again. That's different. Because people can see the stake you have in the game in a relationship. And they see the value you provide to him by keeping black women off his back and helping his reputation when he needs it, when she ain't had nothing to do. And she was with him even in the thick of it. It wasn't like she got out of it once or she left. See, you can see, okay, I can see that, I can respect it. Even though she's older, we get all that. But she still look good. Jonathan Majors has his own kid, whatever. I can respect it to a certain extent. Even with Ciara, you can understand, okay, she's still got a reputation. We're not even going to talk about the fact that Russell Wilson, he's just in the NFL just to be in the NFL. Like, for him to go out being a backup quarterback for the Giants, that's horrible. Like, Russell Wilson is just there just to be there. At this point, Russell Wilson is there just to have the status of being an NFL quarterback. He's literally regressing, which, by the way, doesn't make Ciara look good. The fact that these guys regress, or they're on their way out, and that's when they're getting with these types of women, it really doesn't make them look good. And that's not to always say that. Like when Monica was with Shannon Brown didn't regress. But it really, again, it's a culture issue. And these are different types of black women too, by the way. It's a culture issue. And so, you know, the issue with Ciara is Ciara gives classy bitches an excuse to be a hoe. But again, that's the culture. That's black women culture. Black women see sexuality, overt sexuality, as defiance. They don't understand that actually makes them look bad. And for some reason, they don't understand that. They don't understand that harms their value overall, even the other races of men. They don't understand how that makes them look bad as a group, because they're too busy trying to defy black men and emasculate black men with their overt "I can be a hoe" shit. Which the truth is, that's a big reason why other women are doing the same thing. And eventually motherfuckers are going to say enough, and it's going to be real consequences to that. And black women are probably going to be the ones to catch that first, because other women dudes are going to want to warn their women and give their women a chance to like switch that shit up. An R&B dude, a rapper that said that. He said, why don't you make songs like in the 90s? Because there ain't no women in the 90s. They all hoes now. He said it just like that. They all hoes now. And people kind of got mad for a second, but they really couldn't say nothing because they are. And by the way, that type of music wouldn't even sell anyway. That music wouldn't even sell. You better remix that shit with AI so it doesn't cost, but that shit wouldn't sell. The women wouldn't support that. As much as they talk shit about they want a man to be a gentleman, the best way to dry that pussy up is to be a gentleman with most of these type of black women, because that's who they are now. They talk that shit, but they don't want that shit. Even if the nigga that they like, if the nigga that they like started acting like that, they would not like him anymore. Yeah, hoe energy is dominant energy, absolutely. And a lot of dudes be thinking that these women are servicing them because they don't know what submission is. So black men think hoe energy is submissive energy. No, hoe energy, she's dominating you with that energy. She is getting you to serve her. And that dynamic matters. And a lot of black men don't understand that. You are in service to her. She is not in service to you. And when they are in service to you, they get upset if they don't get something for it, which is why they be throwing these allegations at these dudes. Oh, this nigga gay because he running away from dick, trying to fuck all the hoes he can fuck. No. Men, a masculine, dude, and the testosterone to have the accents are gonna do that. So I guess the Arabs are gay, huh? I guess an Arab that has like 10 wives, he must be gay, right? Again, this is the mind of a black woman that don't know shit. All these dudes that's got multiple wives, they must be gay, right? No, the issue is you don't like the fact that he has leverage over you. He has sexual leverage over you, and you can't handle it. That's really what it is. He has sexual leverage over you, and you can't fucking handle it. That's really what the issue is. You're upset because you all realize that you all have no sexual leverage over these guys. And so what happens is you all want to call them gay because that's your default when you're mad. That's all that is. They don't have logic. That's your first issue. Don't ever try to understand a woman's logic. They don't have it. They're not operating on logic. They're operating on emotion. You do better say, I'm trying to understand her feelings. But they have no logic. They just say shit. A lot of men try to assume black women are speaking from a logical place because that's that mommy shit. Where because mommy was over you, so you assume, like, see, white men don't do that. White men don't assume women know what the fuck they're talking about because they had I'm just gonna say it, they had their dad. So they know where the logic comes from. They know these women are not necessarily, like, it just depends on how much you turn the dial up, but they'll jump completely out of logic. They know if I need a logic, I go to dad. Black men don't. Unfortunately, too many black men are raised in single mother households, and they're raised to not see. And here's the thing: even if you weren't raised in a single mother household, you're not raised to see your mom get checked. You're not raised to see that. So you have this belief, not you personally, but I'm saying black males have this belief that mommy knows best. So they always say, well, there may be something going on, I just can't see it because I'm not as smart as mommy. That's what that is. That's why I said you don't never really grow up till you check your mom. Because you have to start seeing that sometimes she don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And the older I get and the more I can kind of rerun things that happen with me. I mean, my mom did a great job for the cards that she were given, or the cards that she dealt herself and were given. Some of this stuff she was dealt a little bit of a bad hand too. Oh my God. Dealt the bad hand. But like, I'm 38, man. Like when I'm 39. When I went to foster care when I was 13 years old, I'm the same age that my mom was. So you can rerun, when you get into these age ranges, you can rerun certain decisions and when they were made and where you were at what age when those things were made, and you can assess that in a different way. Picking up what I'm putting down, make sure you support that Cash App. Appreciate James Wingate from the $5 for yesterday. Seriously. But niggas don't think that way. They really do. And when you understand that, you understand where a lot of this resistance comes from with men. You understand what a lot of this pseudo pushback comes from with men. You understand where it comes from when you understand, like, the psychology behind it. And that's really what it is. You're saying mommy is bad. That's how they're internalizing it. You're saying mommy is bad. And mommy can't be that bad. Oh my God, why do you hate mommy? This is why they keep saying you hate your mother. Why the fuck do you always go to somebody hates their mom? Black men are the last niggas that hate their mom. But they always go to that. They always go through that. And dudes never grow out of that. People just understand it, dude. People just grow. People don't grow out of shit if you don't work through that shit. Especially if you don't acknowledge it as a problem. You can acknowledge that you're overweight and never work out. So do you think you're gonna work out if you're deluded about being overweight and you're on some body positivity shit? Of course fucking not. That's why you got these women literally looking like big backs is literally its own species. Why? Because these women, they've let themselves go. Because as far as they're concerned, if they gotta be black, fuck it. We're not talking about kind of overweight. We're talking about like they're wearing tight dresses thinking that shit looks normal. They think you're a problem for even bringing it up. And in order for you to undo that, you have to have no sense of group representation. These will be the same ones talking about colorism, featureism, you don't take me as I am. Well, fucking look at you. Exactly. That is a good point. Great Dane said what's funny about that is black women will date white boys, and white boys be the biggest ones talking shit about their mothers. Yeah, that's how you know that shit is bullshit. That's how you know they're speaking from a matriarchal perspective, because they never try to take the matriarchy to white land, because that would never work. Ebony tried that with the stepmother shit, and the kids were gonna check you because they're not used to dealing with that dynamic where the kids are just gonna disrespect you. They don't respect your womanhood, and you ain't even a white woman either if you don't get the fuck out of my face. Do you think that light skin means something in white America? Talk about I dated them all, and I'm like, bitch, so you don't recognize you are the problem? You dated them all like all men are a problem. That is some. If a man says that, that's some. I want you. Let's replay this. A man says I've dated all races of women, and all races of women I got problems with all races of women, and I've even dated some women outside the United States. Okay, any man, I don't give a fuck how red pill he is, are going to tell you, you're the problem. They're gonna go through a quick troubleshooting thing. So what was the common thing that was it? How do you know it was something common? What was it? Even dudes don't be like, okay, if you dating everybody, you have a problem with everybody. Well, common denominator is, motherfucker, you need to look in the mirror now. But women can casually say that. They can casually say that. And then all women will just sync up, yeah. That's some antisocial shit. People don't think about it like that. That's why a lot of these women are fucking antisocial as hell. See, there's no concept of an antisocial bitch. A white woman can have pink hair, purple hair, fucking put a bull ring on, and there's something wrong with this bitch. That's never seen. Get tattoos everywhere. Remember, a white woman in America, they shouldn't have any kind of pressure on them. Yet they spaz. But because we're not allowed to talk about that context, that never gets brought up. And so again, going back to Megan, she, this thing where, I'm not even, it is what it is. But my point is, all these women that they think, that's because they go look at her, well, she did it, I can get a nigga making 100,000, because that's their fucking dumbass logic. Ain't nobody playing with them no more. They lucky they delayed GTA for another year. Yeah. I mean, for real. That's how you know that, again, that's another way you know it's a matriarchy. Because black women act very different in the community versus out of the community. They even talk about it. They say, I can let my hair down, or I can be myself. So what? You can't be yourself? You can't be yourself when you're dating these white boys? What do you mean you can't be yourself? They know them white boys are not putting up with that matriarchal bullshit. That's what they mean when they say that. And black men just choose to not acknowledge that. And it's like, yo, that's how you know y'all are not really serious about fixing a problem. Y'all are not really serious. Y'all are just talking shit. Y'all basically are not really trying to fix the community. You all are trying to really mend relations between black men and black women. What you're trying to do is get black women, is win black women's hearts. That's what you're doing. You're not trying to actually do nothing with the fucking community. You're trying to win her heart. And I'm like, be honest about that. And you're literally using fixing the community as leverage, as fake leverage, in order to try to basically get her to want to deal with you. That's really what it is. We need to have a community and have a family, so you need to deal with me. This is what you niggas are doing. You niggas are actually not really trying to deal with the community and understand what her role is there and how she can undermine everything. That's why I'm talking about this shit. Because if they got control, like, see, we wouldn't have this big of an issue if the women didn't have control of the kids. The women have control of the kids, so they have in control of how these kids are indoctrinated. That has to change. Otherwise, as long as women have the kind of control over the children they have, nothing we do is going to matter. Because they can just undermine it and fuck it up. It is. When you actually listen to these niggas never talk about infrastructure. They're never talking about infrastructure. They're never even talking about identifying things. They're never talking about that. They are talking about the relationship between a black man and a black woman, and they act like everything is just going to happen like magic after that. These dudes don't even give a vision. And it is usually as an individual standpoint. They try to bring religion into it, like what God said. They try to bring in, the pro-black, all this stuff to try to emotionally hack into females. They never want to talk about leverage, though. It's all, they're essentially just trying to run game. That's what they're doing. They're running game and doing a bad job at it. They're running game. That's all they're doing. They're trying to run a religious game. They're trying to run a religious play. They're trying to run a pro-black play. That is all they're doing. They are running game. Or a weak-ass attempt to run game. Niggas try to get money out of it by trying to coach these bitches. You trying to be a life coach. You trying to be a game coach. You trying to tell these bitches what they want to hear. You trying to be a self-improvement coach. And it's like, y'all are not serious. Because as soon as we start talking about money, you niggas start getting upset. They don't want to. What they want is some magical matriarchy. That's why you're looking for women's permission to do shit. That's the other thing. That's why black men are always like the purple pill guys. They want their permission. They believe in permission based leadership. Let me lead. No, if they don't want a leader, you leave them by the wayside. Because it's not about wanting a leader. It's about understanding how this thing works. You don't want that style. Basically, what you want is you want to be an independent bitch up until you have no value, and then you want somebody to take care of you after the fact. No, that's not how that's going to work. You're going to be a gypsy. Black women have a gypsy mentality. That's really what that is. That is gypsy shit. That I want to be independent. I want to be perpetually outside. The women that are not like that don't have that result for the most part. Even the women, they have multiple kids by multiple dudes. If they're not like that, they know about the law of reciprocation. Women are on some, they're trying to extract utility, extract labor, and extract resources for dudes without having to reciprocate anything. So they do the beyond bare minimum, and even that, they lie. It's some heathenistic fucking gypsy shit. And now they're upset that a lot of next year, all these chicks are going to be 30. There are no 20s millennials after next year. And most of them are not there now. The average millennial is 36 years old. So now they're upset because now they're realizing they tricked off their youth, and now they're trying to change the rules. They're trying to now say, oh, if you date young, fuck 25-year-old, if you're somebody like you're my age and you date a 29 or 31-year-old, there's something wrong with you. If you're dating a 32-year-old and you're like 42, 43, there's something wrong with you. Fuck a 21. They're just starting there because they're trying to go after what they think is easy. These bitches don't be seeing niggas with 25-year-olds like that. You don't be seeing 41-year-olds or 40 or 39-year-olds or 25, 24-year-olds like that. Y'all don't see it like that. For y'all to be bitching like that. Y'all acting like that's everywhere. And by the way, y'all only focus on black men doing that. Y'all don't see no other race doing that. But y'all don't want to be black, huh? But y'all worried about what black men are doing. And then a lot of these chicks got kids, and they know the niggas they got kids with don't give a fuck, don't got like legit money to tax. If they got money at all, tax via fucking child support. So they upset. Especially, remember, Section 8 is getting removed. All this shit is getting removed. All this shit that these Z's don't have access to none of that shit like they used to. Section 8, even the food stamps, they let you know they'll cut this shit off. And these women have so much contempt for men that got their shit together to a certain extent that they can't even negotiate with those men. Because they don't really feel like those men deserve anything. Because as far as they're concerned, if they pussy don't tickle, it don't matter. And so you're going to be out there doing what you're doing. Because then other women are going to slide in and be like, shit, this is a good price. He ain't asking for what our men I come from are asking for. Shit, I can do this. And then you mad when you're the one that lowered the bar. You're lowering the bar to the point where you're literally making black men a discount. That's what you did. But again, that's what you do when everything is about defiance. But see, these conversations, you don't ever hear purple pill people talking about. They don't talk about that. But anyway, but like I said, in my opinion, a lot of the industry, the hip hop industry, they are very aware. They are very aware of what what really went down. They are very aware of how she was acting after her foot should have been fucked up. Probably what happened was glad, I don't know. Very aware, and they don't fuck with her. Music, they don't fuck with her. You ain't like really pay attention to Megan Thee Stallion and what dudes have really fucked with her, like in the music industry. She had to go to Europe, try to deal with that soccer player. That didn't work out. That was her first real attempt at trying to act different. And basically, they made a deal with Clay. I don't believe that's an organic relationship. I don't believe that's an organic relationship. Because my thing is, why to wait till she fucking 30 to deal with that? I don't believe that's an organic relationship at all. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I don't believe that's an organic relationship at all. Shout out to Moonlight Right. It's sad how much money is being left on the table in the black community, but I'm starting to think these guys are scared. I'm scared to compete with these other groups. No, they're not. I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I don't know. But what I do know is they're scared. They're scared of their own women. I do know that. They don't want to be the abuser to mommy. That's really what it is. And so they have this egalitarian view. And they don't understand, because BTS always talk about socialization, but I'm like, these guys are not mentally retarded. They're not. They understand enough to know the black community is in inverse order. So you need to correct that. How? Well, you need to identify how it's in inverse order. They know enough to know the women are in inverse order. Now, you either are willing to do it or are not willing to do it. I get what BGS says, but I personally don't give a shit about that. You either are or you are not. All that, well, I don't care. Then that means you are not. So I'm moving on. That's what that means. Not no, well, but you either are or you are not. That bullshit doesn't matter to me. Because see, if you start judging people and writing people off, saying, "Oh, they come from this background," that means they've been socialized this way. That means they're not worth it. They're not worth it, even waste the time. Then people are going to start getting mad. They'll get mad then. Why are you judging me? Well, because you're socialized a certain way, so I already know what comes with that. You don't know. You don't know. They're like, no, I don't want to hear that. It's gonna be, this is why people look at people from certain classes and backgrounds and they be on some, okay, because they already got you pegged. And you're gonna be right more times than you're wrong. There's exceptions to every rule. But but is the cost of mining out the exceptions really worth it? Is the cost of mining out an exception worth the value of that exception? And usually it's not. And what makes it so bad is that bitch is a divester. The one who was complaining about brothers not waving at him, she's a divester. So divestors should really be on her ass. Be like, bitch, why did you go to Thailand to be a pick-me? You mean to tell me you went all over there to be a pick-me? They let that go because they really want to know what these niggas are actually doing. They want to know, is it a threat? Because women want to be divestors but still get resources out of black men. These women want to be race traders and pro-black at the same time, depending on what their mood is. It's like, I'm not playing with people that have the mindset of a fucking child. Appreciate the cash, the $10 cash app from Geo. Like, it's just, this is basic observation. This is not like, you know, we just saying shit. This is observation. And so the women that operate like that. But these women get online, and again, a lot of these women that get online, this is how they really feel. And I'm not even talking, people say, oh, but that's bots. I'm talking about the video footage. It could be bots, but I'm talking about the video footage. That's not bots. Next, they're going to be saying that's AI. It's video footage. These women are putting their face on the camera. It's not audio. They're putting their face on the camera saying this shit. That's why even like Angel Reese retweeted a divester tweet. Like, they playing. And black men gotta let them know, I'm not playing with you. We're not playing with you. We'll create a replacement for you. So another black woman will get behind, and then, you know, that's why they don't like Clarissa Shields. They see Clarissa Shields is too male identified. This is how you know. I mean, she's a dark-skinned black woman, black excellence in boxing, has a decent looking face, especially for a boxer. You know, she actually is trying to be feminine. She's trying to be feminine for Papoose. They call that goofy. But they want to support Remy Ma, though. And I ain't got no issue with, but for real, that's culture. And there's not even a debate with that. It's not like you got black women in this camp and black women in that camp. No, the majority is spoken. That's a culture issue. And that ain't got nothing to do with black men. They think Papoose did her wrong. That's a culture issue. And trying to talk to them nice is not what it is. Even the SBE bullshit Purple Pill loves to do, which is where that was really supposed to be applied at. No, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to say, you're supposed to enact, build leverage and apply leverage. And if you don't want the leverage applied, then act like you got some damn sense. Leverage is designed to make sure that bad actors act accordingly. It makes sure people operate pertaining to the rules. That's what that's for. But let's be real. A lot of black men don't believe that. A lot of black men just be on something. I just wish y'all would just act right. Because if you really leading, you would create incentives and incentives for positive behavior and disincentives for negative behavior. Black men don't believe in that. And to do that, you have to do that as a group. That's what you have to do. Black men don't want to do that. And that's the real problem. That's the real fucking problem. Because they see that as abuse. They see that as being abusive. That's why a lot of men don't leave these relationships, because they see abandonment as abusive. These niggas would rather sneak and cheat. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna that Discord is gonna start being launched very soon in order to get that shit going. So I'm about to head out, but much appreciated. But yeah, man, like I said before, Megan Thee Stallion. J Lock does. What's your opinion on the Steam Machine prototype console? It might have might be 1,000 because it's built PC engine, but you can download PC games off Steam. I haven't played my Xbox in a minute. I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually got to jump back on that, but yeah, I don't really gotta. I'll do this, J Lock. I'll look it up because I've heard about it kind of in the aggregate, and I'll look at some videos and form an opinion. Since you donated $5 to hit you up with like a 2-3 minute video, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 minute video talking about it, and it'll be just an upload. I've heard about it, but I haven't really looked into it. Cause I'm gonna keep it real, like me. I mean, if I get into like doing GTA or different stuff, there's gonna be a purpose behind that. There's gonna be money behind that. It's not gonna be just me just doing shit just to be doing shit. Yeah. But like I said, Blueface. I mean, they know what happened. They got an idea what happened. And really, it ain't Megan they worried about. They really worry about the Jay-Z and the money, because the problems that create, they not trying to be tied in a fake ass lawsuits. They not. But at the end of the day, man, she trying to say, like she thinking she gonna intimidate people. What she don't understand is she's creating hate and anger. And see, the thing is, she going after women too. So what it is you gonna make it popular to really shit on her. From a female perspective, which means the coverage is really gonna get bad. You're not about to intimidate nobody in the coverage. Like eventually, it's gonna cost them too much. Because if they lose that case, and they get countersued for wasting time, then people gonna really start jamming at Megan, man. So. Anyway, y'all, much appreciated. Be looking out for my uploads. I know I always say that, but for real though, be looking out for my uploads. Be looking out for that Discord, and also some Patreon stuff as well. And with that being said, it's Edward signing off. Peace.